Hi everyone. The 2024 Formula One season has begun, and Red Bull has once again shown their dominance with a 1-2 finish. Since this is the first race of the season, taking a deeper look at the data can tell us more about what to expect this year. So now, let's take a look at the 7 rankings for a better understanding of the Bahrain Grand Prix. First, let's take a look at the qualifying, and we'll focus on the best lap time achieved by the drivers throughout all sessions. Although most drivers set their best time during their final sessions when the track condition was better, there are exceptions. Both Leclerc and Hülkenberg performed better in Q2 than in Q3, while Stroll set his best time in Q1. And here's a ranking of the best lap time across all sessions. If Leclerc had set his best time in Q3 instead of Q2, he could have been the pole sitter. Next, let's compare the best lap times between teammates and see which pair has the largest gap. At the bottom of the list are the Sauber drivers, who are separated by only 1/1000th of a second. The McLaren drivers are also very close, with less than 1/10th of a second between them. Next on the list, we have RB, Alpine, and Mercedes, all with a gap smaller than a quarter of a second. Next up are Ferrari and Red Bull, with both teams having a gap just over 1/3 of a second. Now, let's look at the top 3. In third place is Aston Martin, where Alonso is more than 4/10ths of a second faster than Stroll. Second place goes to Williams, with Albon being over half a second faster than his teammate. And claiming the top spot in the ranking is Haas, with almost 7/10ths of a second between Hülkenberg and Magnussen. Our next ranking focuses on the performance of the cars during qualifying, using the best lap time a team had achieved across all sessions as a benchmark of the car's full potential. On the right, you can see the gaps when compared to the leader of the pack. We will use this data in our next ranking to see which teams are closing the gap to the leader. To find out which team has made the largest progress, we will compare the gaps between the 2023 and 2024 Bahrain Grand Prix. In 9th place, we have Red Bull. They were the leader in 2023, but this year they were a bit slower than Ferrari, so relatively speaking, their dominance in qualifying has declined slightly. Next, we have Sauber in the 8th place. They have made some progress compared to last year when they were still Alfa Romeo. From 7th to 5th place, we have Aston Martin, Ferrari, and Mercedes. All 3 teams are closer to Red Bull this year and are more likely to put up a fight for the win. Next, we have Haas, Williams, and RB. A podium finish might be quite challenging for these teams, but with a smaller gap from the leader, they are more likely to earn some points. At the top of the list is McLaren, who has made a 1.2 second improvement over last year. This gives them a much better start in 2024. And at the bottom of the list is Alpine, the only team that has dropped significantly. One might wonder what happened to this team. By the way, if you find this ranking a little complex to understand, or if you want more information about these rankings, you can visit our website for further details. On the website, you can sort the data in different ways and come up with your own rankings. The link is provided in the description below. This is the final ranking for qualifying. Now, let's move on to the race. Unlike qualifying, our ranking for race performance will focus on positions rather than lap times. For our next ranking, we will calculate the difference between the starting position and finishing position of each driver to determine who has made the most progress during the race. In the middle of the list, we have Verstappen and Piastri, who finished in the same position as where they started. Next, we have Leclerc, Russell, Albon, and Sargent, all dropped 2 positions in the race, followed by Alonso, Tsunoda, and Bottas, who lost 3 positions. At the bottom of the list is Hülkenberg, who lost 6 positions, dropping from 10th to 16th. In the upper half of the list, we have Sainz, Norris, and Ricciardo, who each moved up 1 position, and Hamilton, Stroll, Ocon, and Gasly all gained 2 positions. In the top 3 of the list, both Perez and Magnussen moved up 3 positions, while Zhou gained 6 positions and moved from 17th to 11th, thanks to a consistent performance and effective pit strategy. Next, let's compare the race finishing positions between teammates. 5 teams finished the race with a gap of 1 position, while 2 teams finished with a gap of 2. This year, the Bahrain Grand Prix was relatively smooth, with few accidents, so for most teams, their final positions were largely determined by the performance of the car, resulting in only a small gap between their drivers. Of course, in Formula 1, there are always exceptions. The Haas pair is separated by 4 positions, while Albon finished 5 positions ahead of his teammate. And at the top of the list is Sauber. While Zhou had a very smooth race, a problematic pit stop cost Bottas more than 50 seconds, resulting in an 8-position gap between these two. Our final ranking will compare the best positions a team achieved to their performance in 2023. In the middle of the list, we have Red Bull and Mercedes. Verstappen won both races for Red Bull, while Hamilton and Russell finished 5th, respectively, for Mercedes. Last year, Tsunoda finished 11th for AlphaTauri, and some may argue that without the team order, he would probably have finished 13th instead of Ricciardo. Nevertheless, RB dropped 2 positions. Bottas finished 8th last year with 4 points, but this year Sauber failed to earn any points in Bahrain. Williams also failed to earn any points this year, with Albon dropping 5 positions compared to last year. Compared to the previous teams, Aston Martin's performance is even more disappointing. Last year, Alonso achieved a podium finish for his debut at Aston Martin, but this year he dropped 6 positions and finished only 9th. But the most disappointing team is Alpine, who dropped 8 positions this year. This shouldn't be a surprise since they are the only team that has dropped significantly in terms of best lap time during qualifying. In the top 3 of the list, we have Ferrari and Haas, both gaining 1 position. Sainz moved up from 4th to 3rd this year, while Magnussen moved up from 13th to 12th. And at the top of the list is McLaren, with Norris moving up from 17th to 6th, gaining 11 positions. Their improvement is evident in both qualifying and the race. From these rankings, we can see that although Red Bull is still dominant, Ferrari, Mercedes, and McLaren are closing the gap, and hopefully they can pose a challenge this year. Of course, this is only the first round of the season, and it's too early to make any predictions. As the season progresses, we'll have more data available, allowing us to share more interesting analysis with you. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you enjoy it. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think any team can challenge Red Bull this year? If so, which team do you think has the best chance? If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. We look forward to meeting you again after Saudi Arabia Grand Prix next week. Until next time, take care.